Hi, welcome to your first video on function notation. I just want to go over the ones that I have circled in red. If you were absent, that should be good to get you all caught up. It says, given the function f of x equals 2x minus 3. This is just a way of naming this equation and saying that the variable in it is x. So if I'm looking at this first one, I want to find f of negative 4. Meaning I want to find what this would equal if a negative 4 is substituted in for the variable x. So I'm going to do that. 2, and there's an x, so in parentheses I'll put a negative 4, minus 3. Order of operations says I should multiply first before I subtract a 3. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, minus 3 more would give me negative 11 for that answer. Now, if you look down here at this function notation, this one's a little weird. It's the word math. So I want to find the function when I replace the x with the word math. So up here, 2x minus 3, I'll just say 2 times math minus 3. Just to show, that's a little quirky one, but just to show that you really understand the idea of substitution. I want to go down here to number 2, and I want to look at j. This time, instead of being called f of x, it's called k of x. It means my function is k, and the variable that we're using is an x. In this one right here, I want to substitute this quantity. This quantity has a plus or a minus in here for the x. To do that, I'd use parentheses. So I'd write negative 7, and instead of the x in parentheses, since it's something bigger, 2 terms there, I'd put an a plus b, and then I still have the plus 1. Now you could leave it like that, but I prefer if you distribute, and that gives you negative 7a if you distribute, minus 7b, and a plus 1. None of these are like terms, so I am done at that point. I also want to check out number 5 and make sure you'd be okay on that one. In number 5, I have a table here, so I want you to plug these values in for x, and then write what their value is over here for f of x, then plot the points. For example, if I plug in a negative 1, 5 times negative 1 minus 3. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, minus 3 is negative 8. So think of this as x, y. So I go 1 to the left and 8 down and put my point. And I do that for these other two. This one's a little bit different. This one, the y, you could say, or the f of x part is 7. So you want to substitute that in for the f of x. So I'll do 7 equals 5x minus 3. And then I'm sure you'd be okay to solve that for x to be able to fill it in here. Next, number 6. There's a 6a, b, c, d. This is not a multiple choice question, but I just want to make sure that you could read it. There's no equation this time, there's the picture. So we're saying, what is f of negative 4? Meaning, what does it equal when the x value is negative 4? So here is negative 4. Go all the way up. It looks like the y value is 5. So if you find that value on the x-axis and then simply go up to the line, and whatever the y value is, you put right there. And that's your end of your video on function notation.